everybody and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to do a full face of Dollar Tree makeup. If you're interested in seeing how I came from looking like this onto looking like this, make sure to stay tuned after the intro. Like, comment, and subscribe and share this video to all your friends and watch this video all the way to the very end. Thank you. The reason why I'm doing this video is because several of y'all have requested for me to do this video because the cost of things are going up, especially with Trump's tariffs that are happening at the moment. As of today, which is May the 2nd, 2025, all this stuff each costed me $1.25. Yes, a lot of these products claim to be from America, but the components could be from China. Just keep that in mind. Tariffs could affect the prices in the future. I'm going to first start off with a moisturizer and use that as a primer because my Dollar Tree did not have a face primer. This brand that I'm going to be using is called Be Pure Hydrating Moisturizer. I'm just going to take a small bit like that in my hand. Not everyone needs a primer. I use a primer because I need extra hydration because my skin is dehydrated and also dry. I'm just going to apply that all over the face. There was a few things that I did grab that I was actually surprised that they have there, and I guess they're trying to copycat like a few brands, especially Pixie, which is these. This is the Be Pure blushes, highlighters, and bronzers. I got the lightest shades that I could find, which they had 2 different shades. I'm going to first try to underpaint with this and see how that works. And just in case if you're curious, how much did all this cost me? It costed me like $21. I'm going to first work with the blush, and I'm just going to raise it a little bit. And I'm going to first swatch this on the back of my hand to see how it looks. It's pretty much like a tinted lip balm. It's a good thing that I decided to go ahead and just apply this underneath the foundation first. That's a little pigmented, and it does have a little bit of glow. And I'm just going to apply that on the sides of the nose also. What I was also surprised to see was a 3-pack of sponges there. Normally when I go to there, when they do have sponges, it's just like 1 sponge. And I'm going to use this setting spray that I found there by Iomi, which is the Energizing Glow Mist, which I'm going to squirt this on the back of the sponge. And I'm going to use this to blend this out. The sponge smells weird. I'm going to take this sponge, which is wet, and go over top of that blush. Is it there? It's there. With this side, with the dry sponge, it's going to basically disappear. But like on this side, it gives you a little bit like a light tint. Basically, this is going to give you more of like a natural look, if that's something that you're into. But an honorable mention, which I will probably be using this later on in the video anyways, if I can find it real quick, there it is this LA Colors blush. It is like a pretty pink blush, which is in the shade Sweet Cheeks. Now I'm going to go ahead and try this bronzer out, which is in the shade Soft Tan, which is by Be Pure. Same little component, same little protective cap, which is good. And I'm just going to go ahead and swatch this on the back of my hand to see how orange it is. That's a nice bronze color. It does have a little bit of reflective quality to it, so just keep that in mind. I always bronze at the corner of my forehead, and I'm going to use it as a contour also. I'll first try to blend it out with my fingers, see how that works. This one is actually way more pigmented than that blush. I'm going to go ahead and take this sponge, blend it out. I would not recommend using a sponge when it comes to this. Maybe a brush or your fingers. I'm going to go ahead and try a brush instead. That does give a little more of a warm glow. I do recommend a brush if you end up using that. This is a little too warm for a contour. And now you can noticeably see that the blush is there. But this does make a decent bronzer. It does have a red undertone, which I expected because the packaging was red. I will try this over top of the foundation if the foundation does end up covering it up. Now I'm going to go ahead and try out this highlighter, which is in the shade Champagne by Be Pure. Same packaging, same protective cap, which is good. I'm going to go ahead and swatch this on the back of my hand and see. Oh, that's pretty. That might be a good shade for me. Wait, there is a little bit of a cast to it, but I expect that. But I'm just going to go ahead and put that on the high points of my cheeks and also down through the nose. That does look very natural. And right there at the high points of my brow. And just do a T. As in the words of Landon Reeds, he says, don't do a T because that stands for Trump. But we're broke and we can thank Trump for all this. I'm joking. But we all struggling at this point. And before any of you start jumping in my comment sections saying, stop talking about politics, just do your makeup. Makeup has always been political. I'm just going to try blending this out with a sponge first. Because back during World War II, women wore red lipstick because Hitler hated red lipstick and makeup. So there was a Liberty Red Revlon lipstick. That is a beautiful glow. I do like that. I'm going to end up trying that most likely with over top of the foundation. We're going to go ahead and try out this foundation. This is by Candy Mo, which is the moisturizing foundation, which is probably just a tinted moisturizer. So this is in the shade Light 1. I went with the lightest shade because I wasn't too sure if the medium was going to be too dark for me. They did have a good range of foundation at my particular Dollar Tree. They actually had foundation that would be able to be catered towards people of color, which I was very happy to see. But they did not have a concealer in my shade, which they did have concealers for people of color, which went very dark, which I'm pleasantly surprised about. The Dollar Tree is upping their diversity and inclusion range. About this thing at the Dollar Tree, which is a makeup pad. It's a little scratched up already. I would guess there must have been issues in production, but this is a thing where you can put like your liquid lipsticks on, your concealers, or whatever else, and also your foundations on. Since so many of y'all have been screaming at me over the years because I use a Bath & Body Works lid, so I was like, I have this there. So I'm going to go ahead and use it. Buy it and use it. It does have a protective cap on it to show that it's not been used, so that's good. Which I shouldn't expect it to be used because it was in packaging. I'm just going to take a little bit on the back of this thing. I don't expect the most pigment ever from that because it is a tinted moisturizer. That's a lot of pigment. I expected it to be a little more watery than that. I'm just going to go ahead and take this foundation. They did have brushes there. Hello. They did have brushes there, but they did not have any eye brushes. And the foundation brush that I did see that's a little more coverage than I expected. The foundation brush that I did see, I did not want to buy. So I decided not to buy that. This is a medium coverage, I think, maybe. Is this high coverage? That's pretty well pigmented. I'm actually very impressed. I'm just going to take a little bit of that foundation, apply it directly underneath the eyes because I get no sleep, and use that as a concealer. Conceal around the mouth, down through the beard a little bit. That's pretty well pigmented. I thought it was just going to be a tinted moisturizer. I'm going to take my hand and apply that because most people apply makeup with their hands. That looks so much better that way. With a brush, adds more coverage, but with the hand, it makes it look more skin finished and also less pigmented. You see that? I'm actually really impressed so far. And like I expected, the bronzer and the blush and the highlighter is all covered up by the foundation. And these sponges ain't the best, but they'll do in a pinch. And I'm just going to go ahead and take that over the lid because later on I'm going to use eyeshadow because they did not have any eye primer. The sponge does soak up a lot of product, which can be a good and a bad thing. In this instance, I'm not telling too much of a difference, but I'm just going to go ahead and finish this up. And I'm going to quickly spot conceal where these zits are with that same foundation. Is this a cool undertone? How's my neck look? This is more of like a neutral undertone, which I expect that to be neutral because with the limited shade range that they did have, the only way that they'll be able to pull it off if they made all the shades like neutral. I'm just going to take that down the rest of my neck and So far, so good. I'm pretty well impressed. I'm going to go ahead and apply this blush right here. I'm going to go ahead and take a cheap blush brush and just slightly pat that on. This ain't the most pigmented thing ever, but it does add a little bit of flush to the makeup. But it is good. I do quite enjoy it. It does have like a white base to it and a blue undertone. It is a blue undertone pink. It may not work for everyone, but I did see that they did have like deeper blushes there, but they were more like neutral and like skin toned. If they had like a brown undertoned red, that would probably work very well for people of color. And this blush is by LA Colors. And I'm going to try out this bronzer once more and reapply that to the forehead and see if that works better. Because this might be the type of bronzer that requires to be over the foundation since it does have ools in it. And I'm just going to go ahead and re-blend that out. That does look pretty good. I'm going to look in the mirror. What I'm seeing on the view monitor might be something totally different. That's decent. Is it the best bronzer for my skin tone? No. But is it good in a pinch? I'm just going to bring that downwards into the blush a little bit so that we can create a little bit of a warm ombre. And I'm going to go ahead and reapply this highlighter once more to the nose. A little bit right there, a little bit right there, just a tap right there, and a tap right here. Let's see how much product's in here. Not a whole lot. Let me go ahead and get this to focus. Not a crazy amount, but like a decent amount. I don't expect you to like use, if you do end up purchasing this, I don't expect you to use like a whole, that much in one setting. I'm just going to take my finger and just dab that out. It's a subtle glow, which is to be expected because they're probably just trying to market towards the average consumer, which the average consumer doesn't want to do drag makeup. I'm gonna go ahead and work on the brows. I went ahead and picked up this LA Colors brow pencil in the shade Dark Blonde. It does come with a spoolie, which is awesome. And also it comes with like a pretty well long pencil, which is like pretty well impressive. I'm gonna go ahead and fill in these brows. First, wait, I need to do this first. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch it on the back of my hand. Hello, are you there? It's there. You just can't see it on camera. And this is like light tinted, so it's not like gonna be like crazy pigmented. You may have to go a little heavy handed, but it is filling in the sparse brows. It's pretty much the same color as my hair. And I'm just gonna add a little bit of a tail, and here we go. And I'm just gonna go ahead and take this spoolie and decent. It does have a yellow undertone, so it's a brown with like a heavy yellow undertone to it, which that's great. Is this the type of product where you're gonna be able to draw on your brows if you decide to shave them off? Probably not, but they did have an Ioni brow pen where it would allow you to put on individual strokes. There we go. Okay, and I'm just gonna flip them up a little bit. This is decent. It fills in the brows pretty well. I probably should have went a little darker because my brows are naturally darker than this, but like most of the time when I see like dark blonde, they're normally talking about taupe, but this is like a true blonde. I'm gonna go in with the brow sculpting gel by Ioni. This is the Ultra Hold Brow Glue. I guess they're trying to copy NYX's brow gel, which is like pretty much a brow glue. Let's see how this works. This packaging is pretty well high quality. Hopefully they did not skip out on the quality of the product. It's a clear gel, which reminds me of NYX. That is very, very sticky. Let me show you. I don't know if you can see that, but it does have a little bit of gel consistency. This is thick gel. I'm gonna try combing it up to give it like a bushy brow and just fix out the... I don't know about this formula. I'm gonna try scraping the biggest part of it off. Maybe when it does end up drying, I will have like a different opinion, but it is taking a while to dry. So this Has no smell to it. What if this is clear glue? Like from Crayola? Because it feels like if you ever got clear glue on your hand as a child while you were in school, it feels like that almost. That's going to take a while for it to dry because it's not dry yet. So I'm just going to let it sit, do its thing, and I'm going to take whatever's left over on the sponge, place it on the eyes. Now I'm going to go ahead and work on the lids. I went ahead and picked up the most promising one that I could see, which is a nude shadow, which most of the time they have like colorful ones, like individual shadows and stuff like that. But the one that I went to had palettes, not individual shadows. So this was the most promising palette that they had there. This one is by Klay, Merceris. This one is the All Eyes Press Eyeshadow Palette. And the instructions say for best application, apply it with a brush. I'm going to do that to give it a fair chance. Packaging is pretty well high quality, in my opinion, for the price point. I don't expect it to be ultra pigmented. Let's see what it brings us. I'm going to take this nude shade, this almost like talc white shade, all over the lid. Pigment, a little bit of pigment, oh my gosh. I'm just going to apply that all over the lid. I should be doing this in a mirror, not the view monitor. And I'm just going to apply that all over the lid. Surprisingly, it's blending out very well, what I can see. But my eyelid color is nearly the same color. Now that I applied that all over the lid, I'm going to go in with this shade right here. None of these shades have a name. I don't expect them to have a name. And I'm just going to apply that into the crease. Like I expected, they're not the most pigmented things. They're buildable, what I can tell. And they're good for the everyday working person. Decent. I'm actually quite impressed with this. This might be something I take with me on traveling. I'm going to go in with this slightly different brown. Basically, it has a different undertone. This one has like more of a cool undertone. This one has more of a neutral. Try layering that. See if it makes like a total difference. Pigmented. That's pigment. Oh, that looks airbrushed. I'm going to fade that upwards. Nice. There's a shimmer in this palette. It's like a, what's it called? It's like a very sheer pigment, very sheer shimmer. I'm going to go ahead and apply that into the inner corner. It's very modest. I think that's all the shadows that I'm going to use in this palette. So far, I do quite enjoy this. This will be something I will be using when I go traveling. I don't feel like putting any effort into the makeup. It is very demure and very cutesy, not overpowering. I'm going to go ahead and apply some mascara. This is by, who are you by? Klay, Mercerie, the same company. This is in the shade black, and this is supposed to give you full volume mascara. I highly doubt that. But for the products so far has pretty well impressed me, so it might prove me wrong. Product is pretty well, the packaging is pretty well nice. And let's see what this one looks like. It's a curved one. It's a classic bristle brush. Let's see what it gives us. I'm going to go ahead and take off the excess product from the end of it. It adds a tint to the lashes. Does make them look more, how do you say, that there are an even amount of lashes. It's nothing like crazy like volumizing. It's pretty much the same length as it is. It's doing its job as a mascara. It's adding tint, but it's not really giving like volume. You see what I mean? If this was like truly volumizing, then it would be making the lashes look so much longer. It's just making them look a little more thicker and coated, but like honestly, it's doing the job of a mascara. And I'm just going to go ahead and apply that to the lower lashes. The brows are still wet, but like it's starting to dry down. Yes, it's what I expected it to be. It's probably something like Elmer's glue or craft glue. I don't know exactly. I could be wrong about that. And with the foundation, it is allowing some zits to finally peek through. As you can see, because I covered those up heavily earlier. But at the same time, This is more like a tinted moisturizer. It's decent. And it's not going to give you like a luminous effect, such as like blurring out the pores and stuff like that. This is doing what it's pretty much designed to do. It's meant to give a little bit of tint to the skin and sort of even out a few things. I'm going to go ahead and try out this Bronzer Drops by Be Pure, because it looked to me like more of like a, oops, it's pretty well dark. So I'm just going to, that might be too dark for me, but I'm just going to go ahead and try this in the corner of the forehead real quick, just with a few dots. And hopefully this doesn't ruin the entire look, because it might be too dark for me. I'm going to take a different brush and do circular motions. This is a contour brush, technically. Hello, are you there? I don't know if that did anything, but I got it out a little bit of glow, but like it didn't do anything crazy. I'm actually going to go back into this eyeshadow palette once more, and I thought about something that I might want to dual purpose it for. So I'm going to go in with this shade right here and use it as a contour. That might be a little dark, but let's see. I'm just going to take the powder and knock it into the brush, and hopefully it just don't turn it into a muddy mess. And that is too dark. It is adding a little bit of shadow, so I'm just going to go ahead and apply that to the lower beard, lower jaw. Yep, that added shadow. I might need to go in with a different brush to keep it from looking absolutely crazy. I'm just going to go ahead and take this foundation brush and sort of just blend it out. That blended it out fine. I'm just going to go ahead and go back into this once more with a more of a foundation brush this time, and sort of just pack that into the skin. And yes, that's a little too dark, but I'm going to make it work. I have the knowledge and the techniques to make anything work if I wanted to. That does look like a shadow, and it does have a little bit of a luminous shift to it. That's good. I contoured the face in two different ways, and I just dropped my brush. I'm going to take this fluffy brush and sort of just blend it out. I don't know if that looks like a bruise or not. And I'm just going to go ahead and take a eyeshadow brush and use it as a contour for the nose. This would be a good contour shade, but I think where it has much luminous pigment in it, you really can't tell. I'm just going to go ahead and take a clean brush and blend that out. Is this brush dirty? Why did that turn red? I can fix this. And I'm just taking the brush and just blending it out. Okay, it just went back to normal. I guess it reacted differently because of, I don't know, the warmth of my nose. I'm going to go ahead and try out their setting powder. On camera, it does have a blue undertone. And in person, it looks white. This is by Lay, M-E-R-C-E-R-I-E. And this is in the shade 2 HD Camera Ready. This is probably an HD powder, which means it probably has talc in it, which is designed to give a skin the blur. Let's see what it says about it. Pressed powder. It says, suggestion of uses. Apply pressed powder with a powder brush, picking up very small amounts of products and tap off the excess product. Then press and roll the brush all over the face or over desired areas of the face. It does come in a little compact like this, which is good. It has like a lid. If I can get it open. This might be a problem with some people. Oh, I was trying to open it. No, I was not trying to open it the wrong way. This might be a problem with some people with mobility issues, because it's a hard time for me opening it. I finally got it open, but I basically had to yank it open. Let's go ahead and swatch this on the back of my hand, away from the other products. It does have a white cast, so let's hope and pray that it doesn't do anything crazy. This brush is clean, so I'm just going to go ahead and take this brush. And what's it mean by roll it all over the face is that you take the powder and you go like that. You literally roll the brush. Let's see what's assess the situation. So it does have a little bit of coverage. To make that disappear, because it does have a little bit of white, you will need to set it, which we will test out the setting spray here in a minute. I'm going to go ahead and apply that in 2 areas underneath my eyes, or no, 3 areas underneath my eyes, around my mouth, and also the forehead. I'm just going to go ahead and apply that to the side of the nose, underneath the eyes, around the mouth, And this probably does have flashback to it because it smells very talky. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply that to the forehead. It looks blurred on camera, what I can see from the view monitor, which means it has a reflective materials in it. So it does have a flashback. We're going to go ahead and try out the setting spray officially. I did try it on the sponge earlier to see how that works, but I'm going to go ahead and apply this to the face. This is supposed to be giving you some glow. That is a very nice mister, but it sort of smells like toilet water. At least it's not completely offensive. It's not like offensive smell of toilet water. It just smells like toilet smell. I don't know how to best explain that. It smells like a clean bathroom. I'm going to go ahead and take my sponge, sort of just pat over the areas like I always do. Apply that directly underneath the eyes and around the mouth. We're going to see how long this takes to dry. I think it might be a mattifying mist because it is irritating the zit right here. But it says to be like a glow mist. It might have like mattifying materials in it while having probably a small amount traces of like mica to give it a little more of a glow. Let's see how it looks in the mirror. I don't see any traces of mica, so I guess it's good. It might have a little bit of hyaluronic acid in it, maybe. Let's spray a little more. And I'm going to take the sponge right back underneath the eyes because they were looking a little dry, which is expected with a talc powder. Now the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to apply some lip gloss. This is by Clean Color, and this is their lip gloss, and this is their clear lip gloss. The packaging is really cute. Oh, it has plastic over top of it? That's weird. 1 second. I was like, why could I not open it? Yep, it has plastic over top of it. Packaging is pretty well nice. And like, it's decent for the price. See how this is. The dofa is not my favorite type of dofa. And this is supposed to have collagen peptides in it. That's fancy. I don't like this dofa because it's barely picking up anything inside of there. It is a classic jelly lip gloss. I'm just applying that to the bottom lip because if I try to go towards this top lip, it's probably not going to end well. So I'm going to go ahead and apply this a little heavy. The lips together. What? Fuller look instantly without pain or injections. It's claiming to be a lip plumper also. But what it's most likely is that the reflective material in it, which is like the pure, probably has oil in it. But I'm not familiar with any of these ingredients. But yeah, it has like mineral oil in it. So the mineral oil in it is giving the illusion of that it looks fuller because it's reflecting light. So when it's reflecting light and you can see it, it's bringing it forward within the illusion. Because if it was a true lip plumper, you would not see these fine lines in my lips right now, which everyone has. It will be filling those out. It is a decent lip gloss. I just do not like the dofa applicator in it because it makes it very hard to apply. If it was more of like a flat applicator instead of like this angled applicator and the bristles were a little more thicker, it would have been easier to glide on. But it is a decent product. They do have other products at the Dollar Tree, such as like lashes and also nail products and also lipsticks, but like the lipsticks were all sold out. They do have also mattifying liquid lipsticks. I did not want to try those because I wanted to try out their gloss, and plus all the colors that they did have were red. The bullet lipsticks were all sold out, which tells to me that there is a lipstick index going on, and there is, when lipsticks are being sold out or if there's a higher purchase rate of bullet lipsticks, always indicates that there is a recession according to the lipstick index. People are struggling and they're saving their money. We're all on the same struggle bus. If you're stressed out right now with the current state of the environment, the economy, and also politics, you're not alone. We're all stressed out and we're all on the same struggle bus together. As a complete look, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video to all your friends. And with that being said, I do thank you for watching. Remember to do all things with love, And until next time, bye. We have a midterm elections coming up pretty soon for our Congress and our Senate. And those are the two most important people out of the federal government that there is besides the president, because those are the people who makes the votes and also who represents us. If you're truly concerned about our country, please go to the link in my description. It is the voters registrations website. And if you're of voting age and not registered to vote, please go get registered to vote. And please do your research on your candidates and also show up to every election. Thank you. I love you all. I want the best for you.